that we might have been having over the course of the broadcast. Counted no balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out. The offer on its way. Swung on and sliced down the left field area. Kennard Jones racing, and he cannot get there. It pops in for a base hit. Kennard Jones overran it. Scampering towards second. Freddie Bynum. We'll see how it's scored. It should at least be a single. And we'll see if it is counted as a double. Probably will be considered a double. So runner at second base. No error has been placed on the board to this point, with Freddie Sandoval making his way to the home plate area. Freddie Sandoval, a strikeout victim in the first inning, and plays left field for this team, also first base, but he's not been hitting as well as what he would like. And with 2 men out, the 2-time conference champion takes the pitch low. Look out, 1 ball and no strikes. Freddie Sandoval went to college in San Diego area. Left fielder stares at the mound, waits for the pitch. Swung on and missed. Big rip. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Everybody clap your hands.
You can hear the fans getting involved, applauding at TD Bank Ballpark, Bridgewater, New Jersey. The 1-1 on its way from the southpaw. Hess deals, and the curveball drops to the dirt. 2 balls and a strike. Runner at scoring position, second base, represented by Freddie Bynum. 2-1 ball game. Somerset has scored a run in each of the last 2 innings. We're in the bottom of the third, 8 o'clock Eastern from Central Jersey. The 2-1. Fouled off to the right side, angled out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hess has pitched well this year, but the long ball is what is costing him from having an ERA even better than what it was entering today at 4.42. 2-2. Hess rotates back, steps off the rubber. The other part is he is not finishing off the hitters after pitch 3, or even before pitch 3, as that X toss is outside. May have been a tad high on the break. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And when pitchers go beyond pitch 3, behind in the count the way that Hess has, it's very difficult against these professional hitters to record those outs. 3-2 way upstairs, ball 4 on high cheese as Freddie Sandoval walks. 3 straight batters have reached to establish Jesse Horlbeck's presence at the dish. We do thank everybody for tuning in tonight to the Bluefish broadcast. Perry Miles here. And all the support for 2012, greatly appreciated. As Hess gets ready with the ball behind his back, towards his belt, runners at first and second, 2 men out. Next offering is low. Drops to the dirt on a curve, 1-0. Pink sky deep in the background. You know the sun was out based on that. Reflection toward the clouds. Blue sky over the top of this ballpark. Turning 15 years old this year. The 1-0 on its way from Hess. Fastball outside the throw to second. Not in time. Pedro Lopez tried to apply the tag to the cleats of Freddie Bynum. Had an opportunity to talk with Angel Flores today, who's one of the backup catchers for the Bluefish. And he said the perfect throw to make for a base runner leading off of second, trying to get him caught behind. 2-0 swung on and missed. 2 balls and a strike. The best way to do it is to make sure you hit the oncoming defender in the chest with the baseball, as opposed to when you're throwing at a base runner from first to second or second to third, to throw it 6 inches off the ground towards the outside edge of the base that the runner's coming from before. Next offering, tails low. 3 balls and a strike. It makes sense. Try to throw the ball towards the outside edge of the bag, maybe a foot up the bag, towards first base if the runner's trying to steal from first to second. To apply the swipe quickly, no wasted motion. Tap the runner in less than an eighth of a second. 3-1 is a fastball running high for ball 4. That is the second straight walk for Hess, as Pedro Lopez walks in, perhaps to have a conversation with Isaac Hess. Willie Upshaw and Louis Rodriguez also making their way to the mound. This is the first real trouble that the Bluefish softball has had all night tonight. As the bases loaded, it all came after a 2-out home run by Johnny Tucker to left field. Freddie Bynum followed with a double prop fly ball to left field. Freddie Sandoval walked, Jesse Horlbeck walked to load the bases for the first time in the game for either side, as Arguello has done a magnificent job since the first inning with 2 outs when he allowed a couple of base hits and a run to come across. Louis Upshaw has had it, has completed his conversation. He is not going to go to the bullpen at this point. But it's all about the ability to communicate, get the message across, calm down the pitcher, and at the same time, encourage the pitcher on the hill. It's all about encouragement and feedback, a continuous learning process. 2-out pitch, curveball, sways inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Matthews grounded into a 6-4-3 double play in his first time at the dish. The 1-0 on its way from Hess. Fastball lands on the inside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. It was taken all the way by Matthews. Situations present itself during ball games. This is a critical one for Matthews. This season, with the bases loaded, hitting pretty well, but he takes a strike on the inside corner again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Matthews this season has 4 RBI with the bases loaded in 2 ABs. Now with runners in scoring position, hitting very well at .450. Next pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. Hess skips off the mound and sprints to the dugout. Happy with the way that he was able to come away. Just 1 run scoring at a solo drive by Johnny Tucker. 2 hits, 3 runners are left on base. End of 3. Bridgeport down by a score of 2-1. You're listening to Bluefish Baseball on BridgeportBluefish.com.
You are going to give the right time. TV. The winning Cardinal Ballpark, the winning Tottenham, going to get you guys Frisbees. So make some noise. We want Frisbees, everybody. All of you are driving. All here at the crowd, right here, sitting over, right back, more play, you're on the track. More play, you're on the track. Frisbees, Saturday, 6 today. Full Saturday, going up the hill. More play. Congratulations to the Patriots. This is right. All right, here they come. Here comes the shot. Who's going to be away from him? Yeah, here we are. Still base. You guys get Frisbee 65. Right, Frisbee throwers, everybody at our podcast. Race to Xfinity. Brought to you by Xfinity by Comcast. Who wants some Frisbees for their side?
Baseball reminds us that we can all come out ahead when we work together, just like a team. At Bridgeport Bluefish, we understand that when everyone works together, good things can happen. That's why each year we uphold the commitment to helping charitable causes in our community.
Hey kids, don't forget, following every Sunday home game, you get to run bases as part of the Bees Foundation Diamond Derby. Bees Foundation, a non-profit organization raising money to cure brain cancer. So join us every Sunday for your chance to run the bases as part of the Bees Foundation Diamond Derby. Leading off the top of inning number 4, the right fielder is 27, Prentice Redmond.
Prentice Redmond leads off the top of the 4th inning. Bridgeport down by a score of 2-1 with Dog Arguello at the mound. 3 innings of 1-run baseball to this point. 2 hits for the southpaw. He unleashes a fastball high to Redmond. 1 ball and no strikes. Doug Arguello has been hot and cold, and today he's right in the middle. Hess has given up 2 solo shots to Somerset as the 1-0 dips outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Redmond picked up a double in the 1st inning and scored on a Luis Lopez RBI single to left center. The southpaw stares in. Arguello unleashes and the pitch rides the inside corner. 2-1. What appeared to be a changeup. The third baseman, Jeff Nettles, is closer to the third base bag than he normally is because of Redmond, a right-handed hitter. The 2-1 is a fastball rotating outside, 3 balls and a strike. The shortstop, Rex Rundgren, is playing straight away. The second baseman, Pedro Lopez, is also straight up. The first baseman, by the way, Jesse Horlbeck, he's close to hugging the line from this angle. Here's the 3-1. Fastball dives low for ball 4. And Redmond takes his base as he jogs over to first. Luis Lopez becomes the next Bluefish hitter in the order. Brock Peterson is the final one due up in this inning. Willie Upshaw giving a set of signals down the third base side. Meanwhile, Dan Lassard, the bus driver, is the first base coach for the team, continuing to stay active on the field of play. So is Luis Lopez. Not only is he performing well at the plate, he's also teaching kids how to play the sport he loves most. The fastball drops low, 1 ball and no strikes. Runs clinics for a Westchester hitting academy. Teaches inside the cages, but also preaches defense, because that is what allowed him to make it all the way to the big leagues. Not just his offensive prowess, but his ability to snag baseballs at the hot corners. A fastball, tails inside, 2 balls, no strikes. And the difference between Arguello the first 3 innings and the first couple of batters in this frame is that he's fallen behind the count to the first 2 hitters compared with getting ahead in the count 0-2, 1-2 to the Bluefish bats in the first innings of the contest. Will Lopez get a cookie? 2-0 from the left-hander. Glove, stay still pitch. Inside again. 3-0. By the way, 7 out of 8 baseballs have been outside the strike zone. And as mentioned earlier, for those who tuned in, the Somerset bullpen is deep tonight as Lopez takes ball 4 on a fastball outside. Drops the gloves, drops the shin guard, and jogs over first base to set up Brock Peterson. 8 out of 9 pitches out of the zone
Search Somerset Patriots
for the starting pitcher. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. The Bluefish are down by a run, but they are threatening with runners at first and second. Will Brock Peterson lay down the bunt even this early? Arguello has struggled, yes. But if you lay down the punt, put runners at second and third, a single may score 2. Single will at least tie the game, and Willie Upshaw for sure trusts the way that Hess throws the ball. The first pitch, rocket over the middle, 0-1. Sometimes, when pitchers do not establish the strike zone early, the umpire tends to shrink that zone a bit, and it makes it nearly impossible for the pitcher to get ahead in the count. If the pitcher starts out with a strike, expanding the zone may be an option. The 0-1, Peterson swings over the top, 0-2. A fireworks extravaganza at the ballpark after the game. And the Bluefish have a few fireworks displays coming up. 5 fireworks displays throughout the season in the Park City. 0-2 from the southpaw. Stares at second, pitch. Grounded to the right side, handled by Bynum. He shuffles it over to second, 1 on to first. Double play. 4-6-3 DP. That is what happens when a pitcher gets ahead 0-2. Induce a slow roller, which induces a double play and allows a rally to subside to a degree, especially with the runners at first and second, because Redmond moves over to third, Lopez eliminated on the base paths as Ramon Vasquez steps forward. And that could turn out to be a huge momentum shift in favor of Somerset. Vasquez in the left-handed hitter's batter's box, weighs in, set up his outside, pitch, curveball, twists away, 1 ball, no strikes. One run, 2 base hits, 2 runs, 3 base hits, no errors for each side as Arguello delivers. Oh, missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a heater inside. The Bluefish, to this point, 7-5 on the road, 7-5 on this season-long 13-game road trip, which ends tonight. I'll be at Bridgeport for 6 games in 6 days as the 1-1 slips low, 2 balls and a strike. Vasquez picked up a double yesterday, a booming double off the right center field wall close to the Volkswagen credit sign. It was close to going over the wall, maybe a foot taller, and it creeps over the wall in right center. The 2-1 is sliced into left field and hangs high enough in the air for Freddie Sandoval to make the catch in the corner outfield spot for the final out. 3, Council 7, no runs, no hits, 1 runner left on base. At the end of 3.5, Bridgeport trails 2-1. You're listening to Bluefish Baseball on BridgeportBluefish.com. We'll be right back.
For a show, game, or dinner, talk about the perfect spot to
Kim set up, have a head for Kim, everybody. Here's the deal. Kim is from Johnny O'Reilly. This is your first ever baseball game, so give her a nice warm welcome. And not only will you enjoy a baseball game here tonight, but you can enjoy a 30-day complimentary massage envy. And your tips are going to get the perfect window. You have a nice big lunch after that. And you get a night stay at the Hampton in Somerset. How about a hand for Kim, everybody, our sweetheart of the game, Johnny Good.
And this is the Infinity Home Run. And Pedro batter hits the home run here in the bottom of the fourth. Then Veronica saved. You are going to get a hospitality suite for a game this season. Good luck, Veronica. Get ahead with your college coursework, attend a sports camp, join our Young Performers Workshop, or get a taste of college with our Summer College program, all at Centenary College. Don't forget, fans, Centenary College is the sponsor of tonight's post-game fireworks show. Thank you to Centenary College. Leading off the home fourth inning, the third baseman number 9, Jeff Nettles.
The Somerset Patriots home ballpark has led to relative success for the Bluefish. They have won quite a few games in this venue over the last couple of years. But it's no party right now. Somerset celebrating the first 2 games with victories. And game 3, Somerset leads 2-1 as Hess delivers his first pitch for the team from the Park City. It's inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Jeff Nettles, Yusuf Carter, Jeff Nettles, Yusuf Carter, and Johnny Drennan. The pitch is fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nettles homer to left field in the second inning. He also scored a run. Owns many of the Atlantic League records, doubles, home runs, RBI, hits, or one of the top in hits, the 1-1. Slides over the middle of the plate, 1 ball, 2 strikes. He also had a counterpart for a long time, Josh Presley, who on occasion would protect him. Elio Ayala, Michael Hernandez, just to name a few others. Hernandez shipped out to York as the pitch is lined into left field. Kennard Jones dives and makes the catch. What a play by Kennard Jones. He sprawled to the grass, rolled over like a bowling ball, and knocked down the baseball with his glove without it touching the grass. He snagged it out of midair. It's a beautiful strike for Kennard Jones. Yusuf Carter hoping to spare the Somerset Patriots some offensive pain in this inning after Nettles was robbed. L7 with Carter coming to the plate. Flew out to center his first at bat. The pitch is stroked into deep left center field. It hits the gap and 1 hops towards the wall. Gathright plays it in left center field right in front of the Fullerton Jeep sign, but Carter has himself a ringing double for left center field. Already 4 extra base hits surrendered by Hess in this game. And those are the only 4 hits for the Patriots in this ball game. 2 homers and 2 doubles. Johnny Drennan moves forward with that runner in scoring position. Interesting stories about Johnny Drennan. He was a top prospect coming through the Cleveland Indians organization, was with the Akron squad, AA affiliate. And at the age of 24, he tested positive for performance enhancers. As the 1-out toss is delayed, then delivered, swung on and missed. No balls and 1 strike. Tested positive for baseball's growth program, specifically for clomiphene, which is one of the substances that is alleged to enhance performance. Edgar Ramirez, the New York Mets prospect who was in Binghamton at the time, also was caught in the same problems. The pitch is fisted towards third, handled by Lopez. He spins around, the throw crosses in time. Great stretch by Peterson as well to get to the bag as Johnny Drennan was racing up there. Carter moves towards third on the play after the 5-3 rotation by Lopez. He shuffled to his left and was able to corral the baseball as it nearly got behind him. Rex Rundgren moves forward. Shortstop has not had much success at the plate this season, just batting .158 on the year. Hess delivers a curveball that slings to the dirt. 1-0. A nice turnout for a Thursday fireworks for Bridgewater, New Jersey. No 1-0. Fastball scooped up. 2 balls and no strikes. Take a look at Rex Rundgren. He's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. In yesterday's contest, he was 0 for 3 with a sac bunt. He reached on E1. Day before that, 1 hit in 4 ABs of the fastball. Scales high, 3 balls, no strikes. It would behoove Hess to take care of Rundgren because Johnny Tucker has reached base twice tonight, and he has been a royal pain for the Bluefish to hand on. Rundgren walks on 4 pitches. Runners at the corners for Johnny Tucker. Rundgren was a righty,
Center fielder,
and so is Tucker against the southpaw Hess. There still is 1 base available, and Hess does not want to push his luck any further. Hess played AAA Mexican League Baseball and was accustomed to utilizing a great deal of curveballs and changeups in that league. Because of the player's ability to hit as a fastball runs a little high, 1 ball, no strikes. 5 straight out of the zone for Hess as he bends towards home plate to peer in for the sign. Glove pinned at the right knee before he's set. The 1-0. Fastball over the middle, 1-1. Beautiful night. Evening hours. A darker blue sky. More like the seawater. Eventually it'll turn into the night. The 1-1 swung on a line. Base hit into left center field. Kennard Jones cuts it off. But another run comes across against Isaac Hess. This time on a single by Johnny Tucker. Somerset extends the lead. It's 3-1 as the Patriots have scored a run each of the last 3 innings. And you wonder how much longer Isaac Hess may be able to withstand the Somerset tide. It is rolling right through. Freddie Bynum moves forward. A double and a strikeout on his resume. Hess delivers. Pitch chopped on the ground right to the mound. Hess handles and delivers an underhand scoop to Peterson to retire the side. But Somerset comes up with 1 run on 2 base hits. An RBI single by Tucker to left center field. Bluefish are out of the frame, but they trail by a couple. It is 3-1. You're listening to Bluefish Baseball on the Bluefish Broadcast Network. I am Bernie Reynolds. We'll be right back.
Very professional with the game. All right, get moving, ladies. First person up on the season for the Falcons at the game. With Kenny Jones back and Captain Else, who's looking his following. Here we go. Uh-oh, to the corner seat. Oh, that's a game. Who's out of there, Jones? I think Jones out of there. See you later. So good job. I just hit that one. All right, we're down to 3. And 2 players. And the guy shoot that pattern in the slide there. And was like, yeah. And our third gets the white is heavy. And, Debbie almost got the chair pulled out from under you. Sorry about that. Debbie, you're out of there. It's down to Debbie and Patty, everybody. Cheer them all in the final round of musical chairs. The winner. This goes off the kick right here on down here to the Tito Chicken. Happy Tito's Day. Hurry up, there you go, there. Nice job, Debbie. Congratulations. Have a hand for Debbie, everybody over there in musical chairs. Brought to you by the Tito Chicken.
Help others through volunteer work. From conducting outreach programs and helping homeless shelters to supporting health awareness and food banks, Prudential Annuities is more than a big company in Fairfield County. We're big fun of the community too. Prudential Annuities, going to that for you. Prudential Insurance Company of America.
Hitting off the top of the 5th inning for Bridgeport. Catcher number 9, Louis Rodriguez.
Bluefish Baseball is back on the air. Perry Miles here. The Bluefish and the Patriots were originally involved in a relatively tight ball game. It's still tight, 3-1 to score. Fastball running inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. It's not quite what the Bluefish had expected because Arguello, he had some control issues in his previous starts, but he continues to throw. The pitch is launched into right field, but not too deep. Johnny Drennan makes the play as he veered towards right center from his right field position, 1 away.
Also, Nicholas Howell,
and F9 on the score sheet. Quickly on 2 pitches, 1 out as Pedro Lopez strikes to the dish.
And Chris Parsons.
Lopez is an on-base machine, but it's not really done all that in this series. Did have an extra base hit yesterday, driving a run, and also a single in his second at bat. But in game 1, he was shut down 0 for 3. 2 for 8 so far. Lopez stands in and stares at ball 1, heater high. 1 ball and no strikes. This is comfortable weather. It should be comfortable in Bridgeport as the Bluefish take on the Skeeters. They're going to be flying in as the 1-0 is a fastball outside and low. 2 balls, no strikes.
Weiss.
1 man out. Top half of the 5th inning. And a 3-1 score. Arguello lifts and deals. Fastball right on the inside corner. 2 balls and a strike. The third baseman, Jeff Nettles, halfway between the lip of the infield and the outfield grass. Same way with the first baseman, Horvath. Everyone else playing at the edge of the outfield. The pitch is swallowed and grounded on 3 hops to short. Handled by Grunger. The throw is handled in plenty of time for out number 2.
Earlier for your next Patriot game and head over to the PNC Bank Customer Service Center. Sign up for one of our many on-field games. Who knows, maybe you.
After the second out, by Pedro Lopez, 6-3, brings up Eddie Rogers.
Shortstop, 24, Eddie
Rogers, a strikeout victim in inning number 3. Steps up to the box. He's made some solid defensive plays in the series. But Bridgeport's offense has gone cold during this series. Just scoring 2 runs in each of the first 2 games. And the pitch is poked towards third. Bobbled for a moment by Nettles, but he recovers and nails Eddie Rogers at first for the final out of the frame. A 1-2-3 inning for the Bluefish. I am Perry Miles. On to the 5th inning coming up. Bridgeport down by 2. You're listening to Bluefish Baseball on BridgeportBluefish.com. We'll be right back.
Samsel Upper Elementary School from Sayreville, Van Holden School, Berkeley Heights Education Association, Community and Commerce Enhancement Foundation, the Sony's Video Award, Vanilla Recreation Baseball, North Springfield Recreation Baseball, KSN Investigations, Lindy PAL, Rutgers Prep 3rd and 4th grade, McCarry High School K, Franklin Township Huntington County Pack 108, Westside Dance Center, New Jersey State Lions, Park Little League Señoritas, Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, and Spectrum for Luton. Up on our video board, we have some special announcements. Happy birthday to Drew, Jacob. Happy birthday, Chris. Happy birthday, Samantha Meltzer. And welcome to the New Jersey State Lions. Also, some other birthdays being celebrated: Michael Brickfield, Christian Mason, Eric Latini, Sam Latini, Andrew Mack. Happy birthday, Siegel Desert Eagles. Happy birthday, Neil Drazen from the Hill Farley family. Happy birthday, Chloe Scarlagio. Happy 10th birthday.
Bridgeport Baseball is back on the air here. Perry Miles. In the booth, the Patriots have a 3-1 lead against the Bluefish. Bridgeport got out to a 1-run lead, courtesy of an RBI single by Louis Lopez. But solo drives by Jeff Nettles in the 2nd inning and Johnny Tucker in the 3rd gave Somerset the lead. And they would add 1 more in the 4th, courtesy of an RBI single to left center field by Johnny Tucker with runners at the corners. That's where we stand. 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 run on 2 base hits. No physical misuse on either side as Freddie Sandoval makes his way to the batter's box. He's followed by Jesse Horlbeck and Aaron Matthews. 3, 4, and 5 in the order for the home team. The first pitch is a big cut and a miss. Curveball dropped from about belt high to ankle high in a moment. 0-1. Hess not wasting much time delivering the second pitch. It spikes to the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Middle of the infield at the lip of the outfield grass. The corners halfway. Outfielders straight away. Not anticipating Sandoval more to pull or more to hit to the opposite field. The 1-1 is stroked into left center. It is a base hit and steams towards the gap. Kennard Jones has to play it towards the wall with Sandoval cruising into second base with a leadoff double. Freddie Sandoval was able to line it to the gap. Kennard Jones tried to cut it off. Had he been able to, there might have been a play at second. He was unable to sprint to the baseball to get there. As a result, it leads to another extra base hit. 5 of the 6 today. 5 of the 6 hits today for the home team have been either doubles or home runs. Jesse Horlbeck does not have an official plate appearance today. He's walked twice. Hess steps off the rubber momentarily before he reestablishes his presence on the mound. Lifts his glove high, lifts his leg as well. The first pitch is inside, 1 ball and no strikes. The Patriots in their home whites, navy blue undershirts, Patriots insignia across the chest, and calligraphy with red on the outline and blue bold in the middle. And then you also have the Bluefish in their teal uniforms, gray bottoms. The 1-0, fastball inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Nobody out, a runner at second base, and Bridgeport trails by 2. The southpaw kicks and delivers, fastball, trails to the inside corner, 2-1. Hess and Oseguera are similar pitchers in that they use a fastball, curveball, and changeup. Somerset saw Oseguera in the first game of this series. The fastball rises 3-1. The difference is Hess throws 3 or 4 miles per hour faster than Oseguera does. 3 balls and 1 strike. Lopez waits at the hot corner. Runner at second base is Freddie Sandoval. Takes a big lead, and the fastball paints the outside corner. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3 runs, 6 hits. Patriots. 1 run, 2 hits. Bluefish. The 3-2. Glove high. Pitch. Chopped on the ground toward short. Eddie Rogers thinks about going to third, but cannot throw there because Sandoval was 3/4 of the way down. He opts to go to first to get the 6-3 put out as Horlbeck has grounded to short. Runner at third base, less than 2 outs. Maybe a clutch situation for Aaron Matthews. In the second inning, he grounded into a double play. In the third, he struck out with the bases loaded. Only 2 times up at the plate. And with 1 man out, the left-hander deals. Swung on and missed. No balls and 1 strike.
Everybody clap your hands.
You can hear the Patriots fans continuing to cheer for their team. The 0-1 from the southpaw. Swung on and missed. Reached for. The count had no balls and 2 strikes. One man out with a runner at third. Bluefish in a tenuous situation. The infielders are up at the edge of the infield grass. The 0-2. Swung on and missed. Strike three. A big rip by Matthews, but he came up empty. That represents the second out of the fifth. As Jeff Nettles hopes to work that fourth run across, he moves in. A 3-1 contest. And that fourth run could play a pivotal role as to determine the outcome of this game with the way Arguello is pitching. And remember this, the Somerset Patriots showed a little weakness yesterday in their bullpen, but that one was stroked into left center field. It is a base hit as it rolls towards the wall. Nettles gets an RBI double as he jogs into second base. Freddie Sandoval comes to the plate. Somerset has scored runs now in each of the last 4 innings against Isaac S. It is a 4-1 ball game. Somerset continues to find the gaps at this venue. And the way that the Patriots had played against the Long Island Ducks earlier this season, completely different from the way that this organization has played in this series. Bridgeport in danger of getting swept for the first time this year. Teams do go through struggles. Bridgeport was 12-5 heading into this set. Right now at 12-7. Somerset and Bridgeport after tonight could have the same record at 12-8 as Yusuf Carter steps out of the batter's box for just a moment before he reestablishes his presence in the box. The first pitch, check swing, went through the zone 0-1. Nettles not going anywhere. He does not have much speed. And it is not expected for the Bluefish to even bother throwing over there. Rodriguez has handled Jeff Nettles, especially at the plate. Understands his speed. While Yusuf Carter presents a dangerous hitter. He already has a hit today. Double and last at bat as the pitch is dribbled up the third baseline. Lopez barehands and has to eat it. He bobbled it for a moment, and it's either a plop into left field or a dribbler to the left side. Nothing that the defense can really do. And with runners at the corners on the infield single, it sets up Johnny Drennan.
Right fielder,
Drennan is over 2. Former top prospect in the Cleveland Indians organization. He's a young guy. He was just 24 years old when he was suspended for a 50 game for testing positive in MLB's drug testing program as the fastball runs to the outside corner 0-1. He's 25 years old. A young kid, almost. Plenty of experience in affiliate baseball, Double-A. The 0-1, swung on and missed. A big cut. No balls and 2 strikes. One more opportunity for the Bluefish to get out of the jam. 0-2 the count. Hestill now delivers. Pitch, dives inside to the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Outfielders playing straight away for Bridgeport. Infielders toward the middle, playing a little bit toward the edge. Third baseman Luis Lopez well off the third base line. And the first baseman Brock Peterson holding on his base running responsibility. The 1-2 is upstairs, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Bluefish offense has been shut down, and that has been documented over the last couple of games. Bridgeport's pitching staff, even though the run total may not reflect it, they did a decent job yesterday. A couple of plop hits. 2-2. Swung on and missed. fell right into the bucket as he tried to pull it for a home run. And Trennan goes down swinging. But another run comes across for the Patriots on 3 base hits. 2 runners left on. End of 5. Bridgeport down by 3. Who won the score? You're listening to Bluefish Baseball on BridgeportBluefish.com. We'll be right back.
30 seconds to get the right answer. However many questions rate, that's how many pieces you earn, and then we'll give you money off a permanent minor league project that's going to be limited. All right, Kenny, first question, what is your name? Kenny, good job. All right, second question. What Patriot recently became the Atlantic League hits leader? Nettles is correct. He's got 2 folks. Let's hear it for him. What's the name of Tim Allen's neighbor on the show Home Improvement? 5 seconds. Wilson, very good crowd. All right, the last question. What's tonight's team sponsor? I'll give you a hint. It's Cincinnati College. Cincinnati College, very good, Kenny. I don't know how you got that one. So you hit a home run, reach in there and grab the envelope on a home plate, and let's see what you want. $1,000 off the home remodeling project at Somerset Aluminum. Nice job. Have a hand for Kenny, everybody. Remember, more about help you can remodel your dream home at Somerset Aluminum at SomersetAluminum.com.
The Patriots return to TD Bank Ballpark Thursday the 24th for a 4-game set with Kansas. That's an 11 o'clock start on Thursday the 24th. On Friday, there's the post-game fireworks show courtesy of MJM Insurance. Saturday, May 26th, first 2,000 fans get 50th anniversary mini bags from TD Bank. And Sunday, May 27th is the best day at the ballpark. We have a pregame autograph session. Kids run the bases after the ball game. And it's our Jimmy Buffett Tribute Day on Sunday the 27th. No better day at the ballpark. So we have a great Memorial Day weekend for you. Thursday the 24th until Sunday the 27th. Jimmy Buffett Day.
Bluefish Baseball is back on the air. Perry Miles here. Joey Gathray moves into the batter's box as first pitch is on its way. From the left-hander Arguello, his team has given him a 3-run cushion. The first pitch from Arguello is delivered over the middle of the plate, 0-1. A 4-1 ball game. 4 runs on 8 base hits, 1 run on 2 base hits for the Bluefish. Their hitting woes continue into this series. Gathright 0 for 2 today, 4 to 3 and an L3 on his resume as he takes a pitch on the shoulder. He swings his bat over to the left side, throws it, and then scampers down the first base line on the hit by pitch.
Somerset County Recycling is up to help the environment by recycling.
A very loud crowd here in Somerset, and a boisterous day in Camden this past weekend. There's not a whole lot of boisterous activity in other ballparks, although there were plenty of fans there at each of the other venues, York and Southern Maryland, as the first pitch is on its way to Kennard Jones. He's 0 for 2 today. The trivia question for today's contest: which member of the Bluefish hit the most home runs against Somerset a year ago? The first pitch fastball is over the middle of the plate, 0-1. Which member of the Bluefish hit the most home runs against Somerset a year ago? And it appears as if Isaac Hess's day might be over as Joe Bateman is warming up down the left field line in the bullpen as Jones slaps at the pitch down the left field line, giving chase Jeff Nettles. He's leaning towards the Bluefish dugout, but it falls a couple of rows into the seats just left of the Bluefish area. 1 balls, 2 strikes.
Snap and glow bats and layup yo-yos.
4 runs on 8 base hits, 1 run on 2 base hits.
All those items available.
317 down the left field line, 315 to right, and 402 to center. There are different dimensions in this park, but the ball plays very well for the hitters, especially during the summertime, especially the left field. The 0-2 toss to first is not in time. The base runner, Joey Gathright, gets back. Gathright has stolen quite a few bases this year. This is not one of those situations where you would expect the center fielder to try to swipe the bag, even if he has great speed as he takes a decent lead. Kennard swings and misses for strike 3. Curveball twisted inside, and Jones could not quite identify it until the very last moment. He was fooled. And it brings up Prentice Redmond. Redmond double the walk in the ball game today. It accounted for one of only 2 hits. Redmond and Lopez had both of them in the first inning. Arguello has 3 strikeouts tonight. 1-0 pitch on its way from the left-hander. He stands tall and timeout is called. 4 runs, 8 hits. 1 run, 2 hits. That's the way it stands. The fans making their way towards right field because they know they're going to have a fireworks show afterwards. It's not quite the way that it was during the weekend. The fastball is right over the middle, 0-1. Took a look at opening weekend last year, and many Patriots fans stacked the place. One of the largest crowds in the history of Patriots baseball. One of the largest crowds in Atlantic League history to boot. The 0-1 bounces it to the dirt and gets away from Yusuf Carter, rounding second and stopping at that base, Joey Gathright. It's a wild pitch that allows Gathright to move to second base. Redmond has an even count, 1 ball, 1 strike. He's been one of the best power hitters that the Bluefish have had this season. Couple home runs and double-digit RBI. Him, Eddie Rogers, part of several productive Bluefish offensive players on this team. Pitching has not, though, done quite the way that it did earlier this season. The performance, not quite the same. 1-1. Fastball elevated. 2 balls and 1 strike. And remember this. You continue to remind fans about tying run coming to the plate. Well, it is true. Luis Lopez, who's hit home runs, plenty of home runs here in the past, is on deck. He represents the tying run. Assuming Redmond were to get on base. You can send me an email to perrym86@gmail.com to answer the trivia question, or if you have any comments, questions, or concerns about the ball game. You can also follow me on Twitter, just me, P. Miles. Just me, P. Miles. 2-1 is a fastball collected on the inside corner by Yusuf Carter. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just me, P. Miles on Twitter, or perrym86@gmail.com through email. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Redmond coils the bat tightly as he waits, and the pitch is a swing and a miss. Buried inside, second strikeout of the inning for Arguello. It appeared to be that curveball dipping down and in, and the Bluefish outfielder was unable to hold himself back from it.
Third baseman Luis Lopez.
Luis Lopez represents the last threat as a throw to second base nearly caught Gathright off guard. He was leaning off the bag. The ball was being thrown around. Gathright nearly fell asleep. The second baseman, Freddie Bunham, I believe, did fall asleep until the last moment when he realized there was no timeout. Gathright was off the bag before he returned. Gathright on the go. The pitch is low. Throw third. Not in time as Gathright bowls over Jeff Meadows. And with 2 men out, Gathright gets the third. And a wild pitch would be able to score the base runner. In a situation like that, you better be certain to be able to get into third base. With nobody out or with 2 men out, you never want to commit the first or the third outs at third base. At the same time, if you possess the speed that a Gathright or a Delhomme has, a wild pitch would easily score a guy like Gathright to push the team closer and perhaps distract the opposition even further. the 1-0. Guided low on what appeared to be a heater. 2 balls and 1 strike. Arguello consistently clocked between 86 and 88, 89 miles per hour. Occasionally he will touch 90 as the 2-0 is unleashed. Pitches way outside. Gathright coming to the plate. He scores. So that stolen base proves to work out for the Bluefish. And it's a 4-2 game as Gathright scampered away from third base. That stolen base was important because now if Lopez walks, Brock Peterson comes to the plate representing the tying run. He doesn't have to worry about it. Any base runners moving along, just swing the bat. First run since the first inning for the Fish. A fastball is a blazer to the outside corner. 3 balls and 1 strike. .8:53 Eastern. The 3-1 served high in the air to right center field. Not too deep. Johnny Drennan moves towards the alley, but Johnny Tucker, the center fielder, calls him off in the final out of the frame. Run to score, no base hits, no one left on. End of Bridgeport, still down by a score of 4-2. You're listening to Bluefish Baseball on BridgeportBluefish.com. We'll be right back.
And our winner is going to get a t-shirt. All right. Our contestants are getting their sacks. They're just about set to go. When they start, you guys are going to cheer on nice and loudly, am I right? Is this thing on? All right. Get ready to cheer on your mark. Check. Well, hold on. We got a major source over there. All right, let's up. All right. On your marks. Get set to half, go! Alright, there we go. Hannah, who's in the orange there. In the red, coming out of Christopher, Julius in the yellow, Sam the green, Terry in the purple, Gianna in the blue, this is first one. In the purple, we got Charlie. In the orange, we got Hannah. It's going to be Hannah! Hannah's still over, hit the rim, and Charlie went down. Hannah's the winner by Chief, and what a hit, everybody! It's an sack race, brought to you by Robert Wood Johnson, University Hospital. Find out more by calling 188 NPR /409 Article study to you. Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital, the heart of academic medicine.
Tom Tickley, your right-hand scoreboard. He gave the Yankees 2 runs in the 4th inning. Red Sox lead the Rays also in the 4th. Couple finals in 10 innings, the A's and the Rangers. Mets were winners today with the Reds 9-4. In the second inning, the Phillies beat the Cubs 1-0. Diamondbacks have defeated the Rockies 9-7. For the Atlantic League, Lancaster over Hampton 5-2. That's the final. And yours and Southern Maryland are scoreless in the 5th.
Let's not talk about the hotel key. Spark plug.
This Bridgeport Bluefish game brought to you by the world's largest bunker removal services, 1-800.
This call to the bullpen, presented by Prudential Annuities. Prudential Annuities, going to bat for our community. Jonah Bayless is on the hill for the Bluefish to try to stop the bleeding and keep Bridgeport in the contest. After all, the right-hander has been stellar this year. Right-hander has a couple of saves on his resume, and he also is able to last plenty of innings to eat those innings up. As the first pitch is on its way from Bayless, he winds and deals. First pitch is low. The count 1 ball and no strikes. It is the bottom half of the 6th inning. We're only half an inning away from the Atlantic League update and the Major League updates as well. Hockey games, basketball, baseball too. Pitch is lifted into left field. Connor Jones on the move. He sprints and makes the play as he drifts towards the chalk as his momentum carried him over the white line. 1 out in the frame. As Connor Jones tracks down Rex Rundgren's fly ball. It counts as an F7 on the score sheet. Johnny Tucker moves forward, who's reached base all 3 times tonight. We mentioned about the statistic. The Bluefish are 7-2 when the leadoff batter in the ball game reaches base. No, 7-2 when he doesn't reach base. 5-5 when he does reach base the first time around. The first pitch fastball on the outside corner, 0-1. The way that Jonah Bayless has been extended out of the bullpen to work as many as 3 innings this season, question I asked, half-heartedly, is the pitches dribbled foul, or lightheartedly, maybe the better term. Lightheartedly was, if there was an opportunity to, could you start? He was semi-laughing about the whole situation. He said, I can pitch 3 innings if it's low pitch count, 29, 30 pitches, but once it comes down to 50, 60, 70, not that way. And he knows his body. 3 innings pitched May the 1st, a 1.46 ERA entering today's play. The 0-2 swung on and served into right center field, not too deep, as Joey Gathright makes the play. Can of corn for the center fielder, 2 out. Counts as an F8. The spring Freddie Bynum to the dish. If the Bluefish are able to get the Patriots out in this inning without a run scoring, it'll be the first time since the first that Bridgeport would hold down this team on the offensive side. 2 away. Bynum is 1 for 3 with a double. That coming in the 3rd inning. He also struck out in the 1st and grounded right back to the mound in the 4th frame as the pitches rotated outside. 1 ball, no strikes. The final line for Isaac Hess: 4 runs, 8 base hits, 5 innings of work. He also walked 4 hitters. Bayless unwinds and the pitch is outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Now that I think of it, actually it's 5 walks. 5 walks in those 5 innings, along with the 8 hits and the 4 runs scoring. 2-0. Served down the left field line. A big cut out of play as it leans towards the picnic area. 2 balls and a strike. Solo blast by Tucker gave Somerset the 2nd run of the game after Jeff Nettles gave the Patriots the 1st run, both of them with 2 outs. And then RBI single by Johnny Tucker and RBI double by Jeff Nettles. That counts for the 4 runs. 2-1. Fastball delivered to the outside edge. 2-2. The Bluefish post-game report is going to be following the Bluefish contest tonight. Scores and summaries from around the Atlantic League, but we're still early. It's bottom half of the 6th. The trivia question and answer coming up, and we'll respond to a couple of the emails that we saw as the pitch is driven out to deep right center field. Gathright on the move. He won't get there. That ball hops off the wall and takes a crazy bounce around, motoring towards 3rd and standing up with a 2-out triple Freddie Bynum. That ball was a boomerang to right center by Bynum as he jolted it to the gap right where the Couch Bronsdorf sign is located in right center field. Freddie Sandoval moves forward. The first hit allowed by Bayless. And Bayless had a stretch of consecutive scoreless frames, broken a few appearances ago. Eventually was taken over by Toby Stoner as the pitch is swung on and served foul to then 0-1. That was because Stoner pitched 6 2/3 scoreless to end one of his outings and pitched another few frames in another one. The 0-1 from Bayless. Stands tall, glove the belt. Pitch to Sandoval. Swung on and foul tipped into the glove. 0-2. We're 20 minutes outside of Staten Island, New York. Take 287 to the Outer Bridge crossing at Route 440. You're right in Staten Island. The 0-2. Foul ball. Some of the hitters have generated loopy swings, which Willie Upshaw and many of the managers in this league have tried to correct to allow these professionals to get back to the affiliated ranks whenever there is a need for that. Many of the players have made it to the big leagues of late from the Atlantic League, but not too many more in previous years. The 0-2 is a rocket inside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Some of them have made great careers for themselves in Major League Baseball, in the winter leagues, but then also they go to Japan and Korea, Taiwan, to play baseball at the Major League level there, and they're certainly encouraged to improve their livelihood and their families. The 1-2. Fastball. Slipped outside and high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch clocked at 91 miles per hour from Bayless. The right-handed reliever set the belt again. Unleashes. 2-2 is popped up right side of the outfield. Second baseman Pedro Lopez is called off by Prentice Redmond, who corrals it for the final out of the frame. The first scoreless inning for the Patriots since the first. The Bluefish pitcher Bayless allows a hit. At the end of 6, Bridgeport 2, Somerset leads 4-2. Listening to Bluefish Baseball and BridgeportBluefish.com. Perry Miles will be right back after this.
Now, here's the trick. On the way out to third base, you have a window underneath that where the work is right under the mat like that. On the way back, you will make the jump over. We're going to put guys from here to in. Max on the mark. Hit, set, go. 15 seconds. All right, keep on, guys. Underneath. There you go, Scout. Let's rip it up. For 10 seconds, he's got the base. Let's go all the way, all the way. 6 seconds. We made it. Nice job, Matt. Drop the base. There you go. We're going to put Patriots back there from AT&T with some of our infield business. So after that, how ahead for Max, everybody to learn AT&T. 14 calls. Let's see it here. AT&T has nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, we think possible.
Find out May 2012. Miller Brewing
All right, fans, number 2, today's AT&T Bowling and Fans Choice. You think that Phillips will win American Idol? Check your phones right now to see if you are the winner of an autographed baseball. Sparky Lyle has been called to the bullpen, brought to you by Kemper Kia. Now pitching for the Patriots, number 14, DJ Hose. For over 70 years, the Kemper family has been serving since the
DJ Hose.
Price matters.
Enters the ball game. This call to the bullpen. Presented by Prudential Annuities. Prudential Annuities going to bat for our community. Doug Arguello's day is over. He throws 6 innings of 2-run baseball. Only one of them was earned because Gathright scored on a pass ball instead of a wild pitch. And Arguello, he was quite consistent today. 4 strikeouts on the day for Arguello, and he walked just 2 batters while hitting 1. He can win the game, he cannot lose it. DJ Hose moves in, and so does Bridgeport's Brock Peterson. Let's take a look at TJ Hose for just a moment. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, and sinker in his repertoire, but he does not use all 5 pitches. He probably only uses 2 or 3 during a given outing as the pitch is fouled right off of Peterson's shin guard. That's got to sting a little bit, even if he does have the guard. It protects, but the momentum created from the baseball landing in the ankle area has to hurt. 0-1 the count.
Children's Specialized Hospital.
We do apologize for the technical difficulties that we've had on the Bluefish broadcast. We are an internet broadcast. We're back up and running on BridgeportBluefish.com. Perry Miles here. As we continue to stream the game, there have been a couple of disruptions due to the internet connection going in and out. as the first pitch is over the middle of the plate, 0-1. Pedro Lopez is 0 for 2. Let's take a look at the scores from around the Atlantic League. Lancaster Barnstormers 5, the Camden River Sharks 2. Meanwhile, the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs lead by a score of 5-2 in the top half of the 7th inning as the pitch goes to the dirt and could not be blocked. Moving on to second base, Louis Rodriguez. Believe it might be a wild pitch because it was in the dirt this time around. The other one was ruled a pass ball, which means the record Guayo expunges the second run as an earned run that leaves the total number of runs on the board. Those are the scores from around the Atlantic League, and Bridgeport down by a couple, but they have the potential third run represented by Machete at second base. 1-1. Swung and foul to the catcher's mask. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
If you have problems with your cars, you leave the ballpark. Somerset Hills Towing is on site to provide automobile
DJ
assistance.
Hose.
For more information, call 1-888-2.
Similar numbers to that of Josh Roop, who
Somerset Hills Towing
had the game last night. I think that was third save. And many of these Somerset relief pitchers throw gas. Certainly do. Saw Josh Roop last night in the mid-90s, 93 to 96. 1-2. Curveball on the outside corner, strike 3. Pedro Lopez down staring for the final out of the frame. Runner left in scoring position for the Fish. They trail by 2 at the end of 6.5. You're listening to Bluefish Baseball, BridgeportBluefish.com. We'll be right back after this.
First make Lavonda Cookie, making memories since 1952. Highway Sandwich Switchhouse trying to sing. Let's go. Lead up to the ball game. Lead up to the tower water. Buy me some peanuts and crackers, Jack. I don't care if I ever get back for you. You root for the Patriots. If they don't win, it's pushing real loud now. Alright, good job everybody up here after the ball game. We've got a post-game fireworks show. Moving off the home center, the number 22, Jesse Horrell.
The Bluefish Broadcast Network is back. Perry Miles here. Perry Miles as Jesse Horrellbeck makes his way to the plate. He's walked twice and grounded out 6-3 in his plate appearances. He steps up, and the first pitch is on its way from the right-hander Jonah Bayless to Horrellbeck. He winds and delivers a heater over the middle, 0-1. Scoreless 6th for the right-hander Bayless. He's aiming for another scoreless frame as Louis Lopez drifting a little bit further in as the pitch is poked out to left field. It drops in front of Kennard Jones for a base hit. It seems every time the Bluefish try to get the Patriots out, they seem to stick the bat to the ball, and it finds the right space in the outfield. Whirlbeck singles to left field and brings up Aaron Matthews. Matthews is over 3 today. Double play ball, 64-3. Strikeout in the third and strikeout in the fifth. Many contests taking place tonight in Major League Athletics. And that includes the Indiana Pacers and Miami Heat. The Pacers crashing the Heat right now, 76-63. 8:36 to go in the fourth quarter. And the LA Clippers and San Antonio Spurs taking place later tonight. A 9:30 tip-off from San Antonio's pitch is grounded right back to the mound. Bayless flips the second one onto first, double play. 1-6-3 DP to send Matthews back to the dugout and eliminate Whirlbeck as well. Jeff Nettles moves forward with 2 away, so 1 pitch, 2 outs for Bayless. Sets up Nettles. In the NHL, no score from Staples Center between the Kings and the Coyotes. Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals. The Rangers lost to the Devils last night by a score of 3-2. In that game 2 at Madison Square Garden, the pitch is fired inside, 1 ball and no strikes. In Major League Baseball, the Yankees are down by a score of 2-1 to Toronto, middle of the 7th from Rogers Center. The 1-0 curveball bends low, 2 balls, no strikes. Boston owns a 3-2 lead against Tampa Bay, but it could be short-lived. Runners at second and third in the bottom half of the 6th inning for Tampa. The Mets, they took down the Cincinnati Reds earlier today, 9-4 from Citi Field. The 2-0 is grounded foul to the third base side. 2 balls and 1 strike. And if people were to take a look at the updated standings, the Yankees, well, they had lost their previous 2 games. They're 4 games behind Baltimore for first place in the American League East. Still early, but 20-17 compared with 25-14. The best start for Baltimore in nearly a decade. The next pitch is off speed outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. And if you compare the Baltimore team, they own the second best record in the big leagues. The Mets, 21-17, 2.5 behind the Washington Nationals, who got off to a very good start. 3-1 inside, and it is ball 4 on the heater as Nettles goes to first base with a 2-out pass. Yusuf Carter moves forward. Today the catcher, 2 for 3 with a double and a single. And Bayless gets to the set at the belt. The first pitch to Carter. Slides over the middle, 0-1. Off-speed pitch. Bayless has great secondary and tertiary throws. The fastball, the breaking ball, the changeup. He's got those pitches working for him. The runner splits over first, but the pitch is swung on and missed, 0-2. Nettles, not much of a threat to go. Not a threat at all. The 0-2. Chopped on the ground to the third base side. Lopez cuts in front, throws to second, and just nabs the base runner Nettles. Foul out of the frame. A fielder's choice on the 5-4 ends the threat. No runs, 2 base hits. And 1 run left on at the end of 7. Bridgeport down by a score of 4-2. You're listening to Bluefish Baseball on BridgeportBluefish.com. We'll be right back.
And when it's shuffle around, you've got to find them. So if you do that, you've got to check out a quick check. Put out your card, which will use 99 cents for each 2-ounce drinks. Or any of those subs. You get a quick drink. Well, I won't forget to cut it on this pack. But anyways. Alright. See if you can figure out where the queue is. Fans, I hope you guys are coming along too for tickets. Oh, don't keep your eye out for queue. Don't keep your eye out for queue. Where is the queue? Alright. Where they ask you quickly is the queue under cut 1, 2, or 3. Nice and loud. 3, she says. 3, I say. 3, let's see, is the queue under 3? It is. Nice job right there. Don't go far, there you go, right up those stairs. Tiffany, everybody, our winner! Go ahead, and a quick check, cup shuffle, quick check. It's fresh, we'll pass.
All right, to purchase a 50-50 from Somerset Elementary, here's the winning number if you have it. Just go up to 204 and get your money. Here's the winning number. It is a white ticket. 5-3, 1-5. 9, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 5, 9, 3, 4. If you have that ticket, head up to the Somerset Elementary table to claim your prize. Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen, for the Patriots, moving from left field to first base. Number 2 plays Sandoval. Now playing left field, number 17, D'Angelo Mack. Also, Sparky has been pulled from the bullpen, led to Nye Kemper. Now pitching for the Patriots, number 40, Travis Boyer. Kia Tire Supplies, visit Kemper Kia.
We welcome you back to Bluefish Baseball, TD Bank Ballpark, Bridgewater, New Jersey. This call to the bullpen, presented by Prudential Annuities. Prudential Annuities, going to bat for our community. Number 40, Travis Boyer in the game, 6'3", 210 pounds out of Big Island, Virginia. He's reached Major League Baseball in his career and is awaiting the first look at Eddie Rogers, the former big leaguer in his own right. He shows bunt, pitches on the outside corner, 0-1. And by the way, that was not the only change. D'Angelo Mack moves in for Freddie Sandoval in left field, who shifts over to first base for Jesse Horlbeck as the pitch rotates inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. So the only change in the batting order is that D'Angelo Mack takes over for Horlbeck's spot and switches positions. The 1-1 is fouled off high in the air near the broadcast booth, and it falls 5 rows in front of the broadcast area. It got quite close to yours truly, as there were fans flocking to the ball, but nobody could quite make it there. Nobody could quite catch the ball. It was closest to one of the girls that was sitting 5 rows up. 0-2. Outside, in the dirt, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Had a close one yesterday. That was about a row or 2 up. And it actually struck that fan in the shoulder. Nearly had to make a play. 2-2 the count. Righty-righty matchup. Rogers waits and swings at a high fastball and strikes it straight back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wind not playing much of a factor tonight. Slight breeze in from left field, slight breeze out towards right. In general, not much of an impact tonight for pitchers or hitters. The 2-2 to Eddie Rogers. Pitch, fastball low. 3 balls and 2 strikes. We talked about the relief pitching. Boyer, 0-1, ERA of 2.84. Solid. 6 1/3 innings, 2 earned runs, but opponents are in 320 against the righties. The pitch is yanked foul. down the third base side. Count it. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Boyer throws up there. High E. Bluefish, they're willing to go up there and challenge the right-handed reliever. Next offering is chopped on the ground towards third. Scooped up by Nettles. He delivers to first in time. Where Freddie Sandoval is located 1 away in the 8th. It's a 5-3 for Eddie Rogers. And as said before, the Bluefish had not lost a series entering this set of games. But Bridgeport in danger of doing that. And they'll have to make up 2 runs within 5 outs minimum, because even though Bayless was in for 2 innings, he's not going to be coming in for a third. As the 1-out toss is sent high in the air down the third base side. Giving chase Jeff Nettles. He leans towards the warning track and collects the baseball. 2 out.
Don't forget to get a
PF5 on the score sheet. Graham Kennard Jones. There is a southpaw warming up the bullpen for the Bluefish. And it might be Ronnie Lewis. Tyler Hayward English. Probably Ronnie Lewis. Ronnie Lewis, very tall guy.
17. Kennard Jones.
And it appears, yes, it is Ronnie Lewis in the bullpen for the Bluefish. 2 men out. Jones waits. He's 0 for 3 today. Stands in with an open stance. The right-hander delivers. Pitch swung on and missed. Big rip on a high fastball. 0-1. Third baseman Nettles playing a little bit further in than he normally does at the grass. The 0-1. Fastball well inside. A slight twitch from Kennard Jones as he moved his shoulder out of the way. 1 ball and 1 strike. Next offering to Jones stays high. Let's go on here. 2-1. If Kennard Jones reaches, Prentice Redmond is in the on-deck circle waiting to get his cuts. 2-1 to Jones. Fastball at the knees, on the inside edge. 2-2. It has been tremendous pitching in this series for Somerset, not nearly as much for Bridgeport. And you have to wonder, the way that this team has performed on this road trip, whether there might be carryover or whether the Bluefish would be able to recover. It's a veteran team and a great bunch of guys. And the 2-2 is lifted foul on the left. Count remains even at 2-2. But in some cases, it's all about performance. Sometimes you catch the right team at the wrong time, or sometimes the wrong team at the wrong time. And in the Atlantic League so far, Long Island beat Somerset 3 out of 4. Bridgeport swept Long Island, and now Bridgeport may be facing a sweep as the pitch is right in on the inside corner. Strike 3. Kennard Jones goes down staring for the second time in the contest. The Bluefish do not score. No hits in the inning. In the 7.5. 4-2 ball game. Somerset on top. Listen to Bluefish Baseball on BridgeportBluefish.com. We'll be right back.
Has a really good prize from PC Richards and Son. One of them has a prize from the Patriots, and the other has something else because you know because the team before is not too cool. Which one do you want to pick? It's funny, but it's kind of different. What's 2 or 3? 2, he says. Let's put 2 right over here. And now we're going to have to eliminate one of the other boxes. 1 or 3? 1. All right. Let's see what she could have won. If she picked box 1, she could have had the Magellan Road Mate. That was the PC Richards prize, everybody. It was the Patriots schedule, which is also cool. Now, do you keep box number 2, knowing that it might not be very good for you? Want to switch it with box number 3. What if I give you this 25 for PC Richards gift certificate and you switch? What do you got? 25
2 seconds.
Miller Lite. We know
Let's
there's
switch.
only
Good to get you in the man. Let's see what you passed up about you would have had. This is the Patriots program here. You can have your Patriots folder. Let's see what's in box number 3. A Patriots t-shirt, a jersey. So there you go. We got 2 of them now. How about a hand for everybody? Got that action for PC Richard inside. Travel over operator for over 102 years and guaranteed lowest prices at PC Richards. Traffic and weather brought to you by News 12 traffic and weather. Right now it's 60 degrees, but clear as a ballpark. Trains are on the close schedule, and there are no reported delays on any of the roadways heading home. Traffic and weather brought to you by News 12 traffic and weather. Know before you go. Hey, man, you have the Somerset Patriots app on your iPhone or Android. When you're app store, search Somerset Patriots, download the free app. This Bridgeport cooking change brought to you by the world's largest pest removal services, 1-800-PET.
This call to the bullpen presented by Financial Annuities. Financial Annuities, going ahead for our community. Ronnie Lewis and Jonah Bayless have been the 2 best relief pitchers on this team. Performance-wise all season, Lewis set at the belt and fires a first pitch low at 92 miles per hour. 1 ball and no strikes. Johnny Drennan, Rex Rundgren, and Johnny Tucker, 8, 9, and 1. It'd be safe to assume that Josh Roop would be in the game for the 2nd consecutive day for the Patriots. The next pitch fired outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Lefty-lefty matchup. So Lewis gets the belt again. The next offering is would appear to be a fastball inside. That clocked at 92 miles per hour. Out straight back. 2 balls, 1 strike. Romy Lewis. He has been devastating with his off-speed pitches. 1.80 ERA, 10 innings, 2 wins and no losses. Last time he pitched was against Camden in that series. The pitch is dribbled up the first base side, handled by Peterson. He waves off Lewis and tags the bag with his cleat. 1 away in the 8th. That brings up Rundgren. Drennan is 0 for 4 with a 3 assisted on his resume. Rundgren reached base 1 time and allowed the inning to extend for Johnny Tucker. Anytime you walk the number 9 hitter, you're asking for trouble. Rundgren 0 for 2 with a strikeout, a walk, and a fly ball left. The 1 out toss surfaces outside, 1 ball and no strikes. 9:34 Eastern time from TD Bank Ballpark in Bridgewater. The Bluefish will head home after tonight's ball game. The 1 out toss is dribbled up to the right side, charging in Pedro Lopez. He fires on the move and just nabs the base runner with Rundgren, who is flying down the first base side. 4-3 with Lopez converging towards the mound, able to get enough on the throw.
Johnny Tucker.
Johnny Tucker may have his last chance to hit in this game. And boy, he would miss coming to the plate. 2 for 3, a home run in the left field in the 3rd inning, a single in the 4th. He also walked in his initial at bat in the 1st. The rocket is high, 1 ball and no strikes. Johnny Tucker for the Florida baseball, Florida Gators. All-state football player, 2 times in high school. His next pitch is up high, 2 balls and no strikes. Never really became a football player. He was a receiver and a defensive back. Plenty of players are 5'7", 5'8". Unless you're Wayne Corbett, formerly the New York Jets, you really do not have that much of an opportunity to really get into the NFL as a pitcher straight foul to the right, 2 balls, 1 strike. For every Wes Welker and Wayne Corbett there are thousands of players that test their skills that believe that they have what it takes to get into that NFL, and they cannot do it. Just cannot. 2-1 is stroked to the right side, foul, out of play, close to the press box, and I believe one of the members of the press area dropped the baseball again. First day it was PR Director Mark Rusinoff. We'll find out who it is. Second day of drop baseballs to the press box. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Of course, as long as nobody gets hurt in the process of dropping the baseball, it's all in fun. 2-2 is dribble to shortstop Eddie Rogers. He moved forward for a step to corral the baseball and delivers an accurate throw to first to retire the side. But the Bluefish, they do need 2 runs in the 9th inning to keep this game from moving forward. Perhaps stay alive. The end of 8, Bridgeport trails by a score of 4-2. You're listening to Bluefish Baseball on BridgeportBluefish.com. We'll be right back.
Light summer. It's a cool light summer. I made some around. Backyard barbecues are way man. It gets pretty hot out. You'll be alright because nice and long here like you step outside, you stare to the door. You're garden for the ball game, that's what's in store. It's gonna be a scorcher, but there's more inside. Fresh on the plates. It's right on the lane. Ain't cross like a friend. Where's your here? Where's the window? At Miller Lite, you know there's only one thing baseball fans love as much as great Pilsner taste, and that's rooting for the home team. Because home is way better than away. Away is not where the heart is. Bringing you away to make it. Why? Making is delicious. And away is where you hang your head. You should be hung up by your underpants. So why root for the away team when you can root for the home team? With a great Pilsner taste of Miller Lite. Triple alcohol, Miller Lite. Case Sprinkles. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. With beer, with responsibility.
Parking lot was been hold and bullpen will be by Kemper Gia. Now pitching for the Patriots number 39, Josh Root. Kemper Gia located on Route 22 Bridgewater. Visit KemperGia.com.
We welcome you back to Bluefish Baseball on the Bluefish Broadcast Network. Barry Miles here. And Bridgeport's offense just has been in a swoon. They've been unable to score many runs in this series. And if a team goes through a stretch where they're only scoring 2 runs against an opponent, it's going to be rather difficult for that squad to win too many ball games. Offense sometimes is a telling factor about a squad, and right now Bluefish bats are being shut down as Prentice Redmond steps up, and the first pitch from Josh Roop is over the inside corner 0-1. This goes to the bullpen presented by Prudential Annuities. Prudential Annuities going to bat for our community. Roop, 3 saves, 8 games, ERA of 4.32, 1 win and 2 losses on his resume this year. Glove drops down to the belt, the 0-1. Fastball outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Bridgeport's next game will be against Sugar Land tomorrow. They have the Skeeters. And then the next time they'll play the Skeeters, believe it or not, is coming up right before the All-Star break with a home-and-home with Sugar Land. One is going to be at the ballpark at Harvey Yard. The other one is going to be in Houston as the pitch is poked down the left field line.
Don't forget,
But it's Peters foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
We'll have our Action Builders post-game pitch.
The post-game show is upcoming. Conclusion of the ball game, the Bluefish in danger of getting swept for the first time this year during their 2010 run to the Atlantic League Championship Series. The team did suffer a sweep to the hands of the Somerset Patriots earlier in the season, but in the second half, the Bluefish ripped off a number of victories in a row and or steamrolling teams. Even the high-quality ones, the 1-2 is sent foul to the left. Redmond stays alive. Redmond, Lopez, Peterson due up. But there seems to be a consistent theme with the Bluefish, especially in this series. 2 hits tonight. Not going to win with that. Hess's pitching, he did not give up the big shot, but he gave up 1-run innings in each of 4 straight as the pitch is swung on and missed. Redmond going down swinging. The bullpen's been strong. 3 scoreless for the Bluefish, but when you give up as many runs as Bridgeport did from the starting pitching and are unable to put together the innings from the starting vantage point, and it is harder to do. It's harder to start than it is to be a member of the bullpen. Just the last out amount of innings, the amount of mental preparation that it takes, the 1-out toss, fastball right over the middle. But it also comes down to whether or not the Bluefish would be able to score the runs. Sometimes the starters need a little bit of assistance, and they got that assistance against Camden. This time around, not as much. It happens in peaks and valleys. A pitch is lined into left center field. It drops in for a base hit. Luis Lopez with a single to left center. That brings up the tying run to the plate, represented by Brock Peterson. Now, last night, Josh Rube was dealing darts, 95, 96 miles an hour. It does not seem as if he is throwing the ball with as much velocity as Luis Lopez is out of the game. He is being replaced by Colin DeLone. I believe it's Colin DeLone. He is one of the fastest players on the team. And the Bluefish ideally would like to have him come to the plate on an extra base hit. Although it's really not needed. His run is not important. Peterson's run is. Brock just a couple of runs this year as a quick conversation takes place between Yusuf Carter and Josh Rube.
Now that number 23, Brock Peterson.
Brock Peterson moves up.
Who's in front? Hello?
And the 1-out toss is on its way from the right-hander as he leans his arm down. 1-out pitch, swung on and fouled at the plate.
First base pinch running. Number 39, Colin DeLone.
The 0-1 upcoming. With 1 man out. Right-hander puts the hand down, brings the glove back up to his belt. The 0-1 swung on and missed. No balls and 2 strikes. A couple of other players on the bench. Ramon Vasquez will probably take over at that particular position instead of Delhomme here for a pinch running opportunity, and eventually will be taken out to be replaced by Vasquez at third if the Bluefish are able to extend the game. The 0-2 to Peterson, swung on and fouled to the backstop. 0-2. For the game, Peterson was working with Willie Upshaw, got a few hitting techniques, but it all comes down to whether or not the Bluefish player is able to get accustomed to the consistent approach at the plate, following through with the top hand, rather than turning the top hand over and inducing short ground balls. 0-2 on its way. Right hander drops the glove to the belt. He's set. The 0-2. Right side ground ball to second. Freddie Button fields and the ball is bobbled, and the tag is applied anyhow. A bad slide on the play because the ball was bobbled momentarily. It still results in a fielder's choice by Brock Peterson as the slide appeared to go more towards center field rather than towards third base. Unfortunate bounce for the Bluefish. And a fortunate one for Somerset. Luis Lopez was pinch run for by Colin DeLome as Brock Peterson makes his way forward. Ramon Vasquez makes his way forward. We do apologize. Ramon Vasquez may be switched to the third base spot. Next pitch, fastball away. 1 ball, no strikes. The Bluefish down to the final out of the contest. It counts as a fielder's choice. 4-6 on the play. If the Bluefish somehow are able to tie or take the lead, the question then becomes what happens defensively. The fastball rotates to the outside corner, 1-1. Does Vasquez move to third base from his DH role? And what happens to Luis Lopez's spot? Does it become the pitcher's spot? 1-1 the count. Not too many infielders left on the active list. Tell you that much. Darryl Jones, the only infielder remaining on the infield. The next pitch is chopped on the ground to short. Lundgren charges in and throws to first in time. The Bluefish have been swept by the Somerset Patriots. Tonight's score of 4-2. Bridgeport scored a total of 6 runs in the 3-game series. The post-game show is coming up right after this on BridgeportBluefish.com.
Coors Light Summer. It's a Coors Light Summer. Hot days all around. That dark barbecue was way down. It gets pretty hot out. It'll be alright because the Coors are nice cold Coors Light. You step outside and it starts to low. Beer garden for the ball game. That's what's in store. It's gonna be a scorcher, but there's no
Patriots 4, Bluefish 2. Right now the Patriots are throwing out next 3 balls. Somerset Education Association sponsor says victory ball. Somerset County Public Schools, where every child is in the Once again, ladies and gentlemen, from the Somerset Patriots 4, the Bluefish 2. After the 4-6 Patriots will be back to town next Thursday for 11:05 start. So right now, it's time for post-game powers.
Find out. He is 2012. Military Milwaukee. Concentrate beer, drink responsibly.
We welcome you back to the Bluefish post-game show here on BridgeportBluefish.com. Perry Miles here. Bridgeport falls by a score of 4-2 at TD Bank Ballpark in Bridgewater, suffering this first week of the 2012 season. And offensively, 6 runs takes care of it all. Yes, the starting pitchers especially did not allow the Bluefish to really do much in game 1, although neither did Roy Merritt on the hill, did an outstanding job. And then in game 2, a little bit closer, this contest was close much of the game, of 4 straight innings of 1-run pushed across for Somerset. That was enough to offset any Bluefish rally as Bridgeport lost by a score of 4-2 tonight. Isaac Hess picks up the loss. He is now 2-1 on this young season. Meanwhile, Bridgeport, they fall to 12-8 on the year with the victory going to Doug Arguello. He is now 1-1 on the season. And the save goes to Josh, who picks up his 4th save of the year. The Bluefish bullpen pitches 3 innings of shutout baseball and still was unable to get the support that was necessary to win this game. And teams go through these types of slides. It's not uncommon for teams to go through offensive slumps, especially if there is outstanding pitching provided by the opposition. And at times, the pitching has been outstanding, not just here, but across the world of baseball. And that's what is to be expected everywhere. You expect that kind of success every time out. Let's take a look quickly at the box score, courtesy of PointStreak.com, as we'll go through the way that Isaac has 5 innings, 4 runs, 8 hits, 5 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Bayless, 2 shutout innings, 2 hits, and a walk. Robbie Lewis, scoreless, 8th inning for Bridgeport. Arguello, 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. CJ Hose, an inning, a walk, 2 strikeouts. Boyer, an inning and a strikeout. Rubin, an inning, a hit and a strikeout. In the end, Bridgeport falls 4-2. 4 runs, 10 hits, 2 runs and 3 base hits. 2 hits, a run and 2 RBI for Tucker. Bynum 2 hits, a Sandoval hit and run. Nothing for Mac, nothing for Matthews. 2 hits, a run with 2 RBI for Mendels. Carter 2 hits, a run. Nothing for Trennan, nothing for Rugg. 1 hit for Holbeck, as you can hear the fireworks exploding in the background just beyond the right field wall in TD Bank Ballpark. David George entered the game late defensively for the Patriots. For the Bluefish, 1-run score from Daphne. Nothing from Jones. Remington and run. Nothing from Dillon. Lopez, 2 hits and an RBI. 3 after that. Peterson, Vasquez, Rodriguez, Lopez, Rogers, nothing. Going for the bottom order. The fireworks continues to increase the amount also in the amplification. The different colors representing the Patriots, the red, the white, and the blue. As Bridgeport falls 4-2 in this contest. Let's go through the scoring summary today. Travel by French Redmond, a single by Luis Lopez, left center, makes it 1-0 advantage. The game was tied on a Jeff Nettle solo drive. Another solo drive, this time by the leadoff hitter, Johnny Tucker, to give the home team the lead for good. 2-1 home run to left field. It was 3-1 double. Walk, Rex Rundgren, a single by Rex Rundgren in the middle of the infield, then a single by Johnny Tucker to left center field. 3-1 the score, then it was 4-1 as another one of the special cross 37 are Devils, 2 outs. Just now was the Devils to left field. 2 after that run. The only other run the Bluefish scored, Billy Becker hit by pitch, and eventually made his way around the bases. And eventually scored on a passed ball. He stole third, went to second on a wild pitch, scored on a passed ball, but the Bluefish did not have enough tonight. Bridgeport falls at a score of 4-2. The rest of the postseason show coming up right after this on BridgeportBluefish.com. We'll be right back. Bluefish broadcast, maybe the semifinals here. We just got through the brunt of the fireworks show as the explosions coming through the middle of the air. Bridgeport's up was a sweep to the hands of the Somerset Patriots. It's the first time that they've been swept at this ballpark. Just in general, since 2010, the early going of May. That's when the Bluefish struggled last time. Bridgeport tonight, they just could not muster up enough offense in this ball game. And we'll quickly go to the Atlantic League scoreboard, courtesy of PointStreet.com and AtlanticLeague.com. The Bluefish will lose another game to the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs in the standings. As the Blue Crabs defeat the York Revolution 9-3. Camden falls 5-2 against the Lancaster Dark Stars. And because of the loss, Bridgeport got a half game behind Long Island heading into tomorrow's play at the ballpark at Harvard Yard. Meanwhile, in Major League Baseball and other activities across the Major League spectrum, taking a look at ESPN.com, the Phoenix Coyotes and LA Kings are scoreless at the end of one. In the NBA, the Pacers rout the Miami Heat 94-75. The Spurs on top of the Clippers 17-10. That's in the first quarter. More than halfway gone by in the opening stanza. In Major League Baseball, Boston leads Tampa Bay 5-2. That's in the middle of the eighth. Meanwhile, the Yankees lost to the Toronto Blue Jays 4-1, while the Mets got by the Cincinnati Reds. They won 9-4. Other games going on at the moment. Pittsburgh 5, Washington 3, bottom of the ninth inning. Runner at first. Philadelphia 5, Chicago Cubs 1, bottom of the seventh. Houston a 4-0 lead on Milwaukee, top of the sixth with runners at the corners. Cleveland edges Seattle 6-5 in 11 innings. Minnesota takes care of Detroit 4-3. Oakland a 5-4 winner against Texas in 10. Baltimore sneaks by Kansas City 5-3. Arizona a 9-7 win against Colorado. The White Sox take care of LA and the Angels 6-1. San Francisco takes charge against St. Louis 7-5 winners against the Cardinals. Atlanta shuts down Miami 7-0 from Gravetown. LA Dodgers, San Diego Padres, a 10:05 start. Meanwhile, a couple of other pieces of news on ESPN. Jonathan Velma, who has been suspended for the year by the NFL, was sued by Roger Goodell. And according to McCoy, or at least the Philadelphia Eagles running back, Sean McCoy has signed a 5-year extension with the Eagles. Congratulations to him. The Bluefish and the Sugarland Steers tomorrow from the ballpark at Harvard Yard. There has been a change as to the expected starter for the Bluefish. It's expected Toby Stone around the hill against Ryan McKellar. McKellar from Woodstock, 2-3 with a 7.47 ERA against the right-handed Stone. We'll be on the air 7:05 p.m. for the first pitch, 6:45 for the radio show on BridgeportBluefish.com. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the Bluefish broadcast, go to the website BridgeportBluefish.com or send me an email to LDM86@gmail.com. Thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you tomorrow at 6:45 as the Bluefish take on the Sugarland Skiers. Once again, the final, the Bluefish fall 4-2 against the Somerset Patriots. Both teams move to 12 wins and 8 losses in the season. Heading into tomorrow's play, Bridgeport are going to have game behind the Water Dogs for first place. I'm Perry Miles. Have a wonderful night.